Test. 1 2 1 2. This is Gordon G, the Fox Inspection Group training video. We've got a 50-year-old house. Let's take a look inside and see what we want to see. But first, before we go inside, we'll notice on the front of the house, at the front, we got trees, a lot of trees, so we're going to have some foundation issues. We understand that. But along the front of the house, we've got areas where there's no overhang protection. No overhang protection. So on the interior of these walls, you want to check for water penetration. Check for water penetration on these interior walls here. Debris in valleys, check them out. Termite. Again, here is where you have little to no overhang. We need to get a macro together that will cover us on that water tends to run down these walls and come in. Another shot of it. Looks like they did some plumbing repair here, and they got a screwdriver in here. A lot of cracks in the brick veneer. Cracks in brick veneer. Poor overhang right in here. Need to caulk this area right in here. This gap. Getting close, you take a look at that. Just a poor detail around there. Poor detail. Big open holes, and this is on the area of the front of the house where water sheets down the front. There's no overhang, so that may be a concern for water penetration. By the front door, all this wood is totally rotted out. I would be looking for a satellite colony up in there. Chances are you can have some wood destroying insects up there. Up close and personal, you just touch this and it just all rots off. Spalling at the corner, spalling at the corner. Bay window sticks out, juts out from the house. Very little overhang protection. Wood rot. Looks like the window sills have been reworked at some time in the past, probably when the new windows were installed. And again, caulk and stuff. John McElroy got some high elevated readings, moisture readings in around the interior of the windows here. Electrical wiring, running plumbing conduit and cord. Looking inside, here's the wiring that we have here. Amateur wiring, no stress relief here. It's going up to a tree light that's looking pretty enough said. Again, no overhang protection. A lot of roof drainage comes down onto this wall. What we want to be looking at is interior wall on this side. Be looking with a thermal camera, looking for rainwater entry. Also pulling back the what would you call it, carpet if it's there. This one had wood floors that showed evidence of cupping along the front of the house there. Cupping of the wood floors. This is a automatic gate operator. If you checked it, make sure you put it in there under other appliances on the other page, other appliances. And again, that's a operator. Need to make sure that works. And if you didn't check it, make sure you say you didn't check it. Water ponding. We've got some columns around the garage porte-cochere. What is it? Masonite type siding right in here. Let's take a look. The bottom edges of this siding, this pressboard siding, tends to rot very easily. Getting up close, all rotted on the bottom edge here. We have a macro for that, masonite siding. High soil conditions around the house where the patios are. Concealed view. Alright, so what we have here is the high soil conditions. High soil conditions along the back of the house. Again, high soil conditions, no brick weep holes, all in here. No brick weep holes, high soil conditions. No weep holes, high soil conditions. We do have a macro for no weep holes. Again, high soil, no weep holes. Water coming down. Notice the algae growth right here on the side. Look for water penetration on the interior of that house, that location. High soil conditions. Here's an area right in here. Masonite type siding, don't have the 2-inch clearance right here. It's right up on the roof. It's starting to rot already. Close-up shot. Notice how you don't have the gap. Even here, though, you might see right there, that area right there. I call it cottage cheese. Fat women that have it on their buttocks or their thighs, cottage cheesy looking thing. That's how I look to see if it's if that's politically correct or not. How I tell if that wood rot is actually rotted. Improper site drainage. We've got basically a downspout over here, discharges along here. We do have some slab clearance here, but this sidewalk around the pool keeps it all back on this side of the house, close to the house. Again, discharge, high soil conditions right around in here. Gas line attached. That's a flexible gas line to a barbecue grill. Crack in slab. Cracks in brick veneer. Cracks in brick veneer. Water penetration coming down. Of course, we're non-painted PVC. A lot of water comes down, and then we're going to see this washout right here. Very typical on this type of roof, where you have this area right here where the water comes down, where the hip ties to the gable. Hip ties to the gable. This would be the hip. This would be the gable. A lot of water comes down here. Usually the washout here, we generally have some movement, indications of movement in this area of the house. Okay, usually be around this window here. Right around in here, this will be where we'll see some movement, typical. Again, water coming down. Also, this area right in here on the ground, looks like some trees were removed over some period of time. And again, right at that window, here's crack, big gaps right in here, cracks in the brick veneer. And that is right here. So very common. Gable end, hip roof tie-in, water runs down. Generally we'll have some movement around this area right in here. Interesting. Must have been a big tree here. AC looks like it got moved over. Slab just got destroyed. It's also sitting sideways. Sitting off, canted off pretty good, and here it's all just crumbled up. I think there was a big tree that was removed some time ago. And here, back over in here, I think we had a tree right here, big tree, also would contribute to some of this movement, and the AC was just kind of off to the side. Pool, got some cracks in the pool surface, and always suspicious when you got a water hose that's putting water into a pool. This was a little dollhouse that was installed on the that was added in the backyard. Subterranean termite damage there. Another shed in the back. Electrical wiring improperly terminated. Here, light switch. I don't think they have any power to this building yet. Work in progress. Here's the service mast. Damage right in here. Again, damage here. Rainwater entry. Lower side not sealed. And rainwater entry. Roof. We had a right along in here a nice ridge on the roof. Maybe it was a tie-in of some sort or some type of repair. Tree limbs rubbing roof. Oh, this is a real beauty. This is a really funky backside of a chimney. This is more than 30 inches wide. This flashing here needs a lot of work. Plus it just holds debris. Check out all that debris here, and then take a look at this flashing. It is not let into the brick. It does not go in. It just peels right back. We'll get up close, take a look at it. Here on the front of the house, we had some shingles damage right in here. Shingle damage. Up close, shingle damage. We have water penetration. Notice how this looks a little canted, a little just cattywampus. When you look real close, it looks like you got some cracks in here. When we look up this chimney flue from the bottom. We do see water penetration coming down. Of course, PVC not painted. Take another angle look at this backside of this chimney. Just horrendous. Just a poor configuration. Also, right here, we can see the chimney cap is popping up. The masonry coping on the top. Water's getting in, and also there's some cracks on top that look like water was getting in also. And again, take a look at this. Here's your flashing right along here, backside of the brick. Pull it back. These are shingles right back in here. The shingles kind of rolled up, and this is kind of stuck in there amateurishly. Poorly done. Here's the fireplace, gas log lighter, etc., gas logs. But all this water effervescence on here, evidence of water coming down. Looking up here, it was raining the day we were there. We actually got some moisture in here. Moisture up in the chimney flue. All you got to do is put your camera up there and take a click, and then pull your camera out and take a look at it. Here, soft spots in the wood floor. Of course, there's foundation damage here. Sheetrock repair in some areas. Ooh, water penetration. Looks like water staining. This is on the front of the house where we have very little overhang protection. Right here, this staining right here. Staining right here. Sheetrock cracks. Door not having a problem. Commode not secured to the floor. Totally unbolted. Definitely want a sewer line scan of this. On here, we're missing the, right here, whatever that's supposed to be. I moved this, this was kind of staged. I moved this over. Water damage right in here, water damage right there. And notice the refrigerator / ice maker. So water damage, this was right, this little table was put smack dab right there. Faucet leaks all over here. Water's leaking down here. Drain line for disposal not properly elevated enough. Disposal, when you see this, we've got a macro that says corrosion on the disposal. That generally means it is nearing the end of its serviceable life, meaning you're going to buy one very, very soon. This is, when you see this, it has exceeded its normal serviceable life. It is the 95-year-old man trying to buy life insurance. Forget it. Not going to happen. Okay, water dripping down from above. Water right in here. And here's a towel that was put down in there where water's dripping in here. I'm not sure who put the towel in there. Again, water stain on the old-fashioned wooden box for the dryer, gas, and 3-prong 240 volt. Screws, nothing but screws, sheetrock screws. This thing's just going to fall out of the ceiling. This was added in later. It's not the original, nothing but low shear sheetrock screws. We'll see if that's in the report. Again, screws all over. And you're supposed to have those 10-penny nails. 10-penny, 10D common, whatever you call it. Supposed to be all in there. What is it, 16 nails probably? Here, this unit updraft system sits in a pan full of water. It's supposed to be elevated so it's not in the pan itself. This is pretty funky. All this was covered up by 2 sheets. Why they were here, I don't know. But the water heater is just leaking like a sieve. Water just leaking right here, active water leak. Water in the emergency drain pan, leaking outside the unit here. So I don't know if the pan's leaking or this connection's leaking, or the underneath the pan itself is totally rotted out where it's leaking. Hello. Again, here's another shot. Water in the pan, totally corroded here. Now these water heaters have a insulation blanket in there, and when that gets wet, then it just rusts everything out. Here's the top of it. Notice how this has got kind of crunched over at the air inlet valve, all the corrosion at the top. Corrosion. Water leaking right here. Water leaking right there. Pull it back, water leaking. And that's it. This is at another house. And thank you for seeing this. We'll see if the inspection report has all these issues I found and more. Again, this is Gordon G. the Fox of Fox Inspection Group, providing peace of mind one home at a time since 1989.